Now at 9, Pittsburgh's mayor highlights new developments in his State of the City address.
A New York judge makes a ruling on Donald Trump's sentencing in his hush money case. I'm Rebecca Castor in Washington with the details coming up.
And fiber is coming to Joplin. We'll show you where they're breaking ground.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Pittsburgh mayor says the city is strong and growing in the annual State of the City address. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Mayor Stu Hite gave Pittsburgh residents insights into the city's progress during this morning's address at Memorial Auditorium. The mayor cited a number of new developments in the city, and those include the expansion of Pitt Plastics, completion of the downtown redevelopment plan, the start of a new housing needs plan, improved park security, and the launch of the city's trash collection program.
I do think the fact that the city got into the solid waste management, I think that's a major accomplishment to get that done in really, 6 months or less. I mean, we bought equipment, we had to buy 2 brand new trucks, we had to buy the containers, we had to get the information out to the citizens, and they've responded. 1,800 and growing households that we're serving currently.
The mayor also highlighted new healthcare facilities, including recent developments with Mercy Pittsburgh. A groundbreaking today in Joplin celebrates what officials hope will be a step towards a more connected city. City leaders joined with Allo Fiber to mark the beginning of a multi-million-dollar project, which will bring 100% fiber optic options for internet, TV, and phone plans. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on how the project leaders believe this will help Joplin grow.
Ground has officially broken for a new fiber optic system in Joplin that hopes to better connect the community. The company Allo Fiber offers 100% fiber internet, TV, and phone services in dozens of cities across Arizona, Colorado, and Nebraska. Joplin will be the company's first in Missouri.
Quite often, communities that we go into are behind the average on internet speeds, other things with technology.
Allo is investing $40 million into the project, while the city of Joplin is putting forward $5 million. Joplin city leaders say the fiber system will help meet the demands of the community.
Being able to bring this connectivity and this fiber optic cable to everybody is going to be a game changer. Our life is not going to be the same anymore. We're going to be able to get online. There's not going to be any buffering. We're going to be able to get the information we need.
Allo Fiber started work in Joplin earlier this month. Workers are focusing on what will be the company's central offices in Joplin, where the fiber optics will spider web out of. There will be 2 of those offices in the city, as city leaders wanted to ensure that if anything happened to one center, another would still likely be able to operate. Work on this project is expected to take 2 to 3 years, and construction will be seen all across the city. Project leaders have divided Joplin into a grid, with each square consisting of 1,000 rooftops of homes, businesses, and government buildings. Residents and business owners will be alerted to future work in their neighborhoods by a mailed postcard. The Allo Fiber CEO and Joplin city leaders say while the next few years will see some big changes, they believe the work will be worth it in the end.
It is disruptive, but we'll be bringing up customers 6 to 8 months from now. This is a utility. This will last for 30 to 50 years.
Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Allo Fiber offers an interactive map where you can see where work is being done across Joplin. You can also find a link to that resource on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, temperatures are now dropping into the 50s. We still have those mostly cloudy skies and winds gusting up to 20 to 22 miles per hour. You can see mostly still upper level clouds, though we are going to start to see those lower level clouds moving into our western counties here in a couple of hours. Those winds are going to continue to pick up as well just ahead of the front, so we can see still 24 mile per hour wind gusts in Mount Vernon, 23 mile per hour wind gusts in Yates Center, Iola. Now, as that front approaches, it will start to die down, but we have another strong windy day behind the front Wednesday evening and into Thursday. Now, timing likely starting around 3 a.m. in the far western counties and then moving across the area, hitting our central counties from about 7 a.m. to about 10 a.m. before it starts to die down. Now, afterwards, we are going to see a little drizzle, unfortunately, a dreary day on Wednesday, but I'll have those details coming up.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Fort Scott announces a new home for its branch of the Department of Children and Families. The new building, a modern workspace designed with DCF employees and clients in mind, will provide convenient access to residents in Fort Scott and the surrounding area. Next Tuesday, the community is invited out to celebrate the service center opening with a ribbon cutting ceremony. And the new building will be located on 10 South National Avenue. Future Joplin leaders join forces today for some park beautification. The Leadership Joplin class of 2024 pitched in at Cunningham Park for the installation of some outdoor games. Each year, the Leadership Joplin class is responsible for planning and implementing a class service project. This year's project features the permanent installation of outdoor games like cornhole, ping pong, horseshoes, and chess. Class members coordinated the donation of materials from area businesses and organized the installation of each of the games at Cunningham Park. Royale Cinema Lounge in Joplin will soon be open to the community. The new owners are taking over the old Bookhouse Cinema location. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more.
We want it to be a space that the city feels safe when they're here.
Nathan Hurley, co-owner of Royale Cinema Lounge, looks forward to bringing both an indoor and outdoor cinema to Joplin.
We're hoping to play movies people have missed, whether it's independent films from a few months ago or a movie from the 70s that you maybe never heard of, or like a movie that you feel like you should watch that's not in theaters, like A Space Odyssey or The Shining.
Late night space here in Joplin that isn't necessarily a bar.
Royale Cinema Lounge replaces Bookhouse Cinema, but like Bookhouse, they plan to continue showing independent movies and classical films.
We really want to carry the heart of what they had, which was like a heart for film, and we want there to be a movie for everybody.
Be like the significant third space it was, carry on that and even broaden it.
They will also have a lounge space where people can choose from a selection of movies to watch on a VCR.
If you don't want to watch what we have on the big screen, we want to have the option to put in whatever you want on that side.
They plan to show a different genre of movie each day of the week.
There would be a movie for everybody, so it'll be kind of like a community oriented. Like if you show up here and tell me you want to watch a movie, I can probably make it happen, you know, if not that day, but soon.
And soon they plan to open. Their goal is by December. Reporting in Joplin, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
The space will also be available for people to rent. Coming up, changing the rules.
The road for electric vehicles is uncertain. What a new Trump administration could mean for EVs coming up.
But first, in Health Watch, Missouri is experiencing a shortage of pharmacists. What that means for the people they serve. If you're currently taking a prescription for medication, you may soon face difficulties in getting it filled. The nation is grappling with a growing shortage of pharmacists, and Missouri is particularly affected, ranking among the lowest in pharmacist to population ratios compared to neighboring states. Now, experts warn if this issue is not addressed soon, it could evolve into a serious public health crisis. KOAM's Lonnie Walton has the story.
Eventually, everyone will notice that there's not enough pharmacists.
Carrie Warholock is the dean at St. Louis College of Pharmacy. She says there is a significantly low enrollment for pharmacy students, particularly in Missouri.
We've analyzed all the states that touch us, and there's quite a few of them. And all those states, we looked at per capita, how many people they're getting into pharmacy school. And Missouri is next to the bottom.
Warholock says this will affect anyone on medication because it could lead to a shortage of pharmacists. But why is this?
It will be even more pronounced here in Missouri because we have an aging pharmacist workforce, and many pharmacists are eligible for retirement, and more will be in the next couple of years.
Brady Smith is a pharmacist at Alps Pharmacy in Anderson, Missouri. He isn't short currently, but he knows how it feels when he is.
It's hard not to take that home with you because you were worked for 8 or 9 hours a day, and then you go home and you're just exhausted from running around like crazy.
Warlock believes the fill is crucial, but if we don't make changes, things could get worse.
Coming up soon, the entire country is getting ready to be the underserved when it comes to pharmacists.
Smith is hopeful and says he would recommend his job to aspiring students any day.
Encourage students to get into pharmacy because it's an awesome field. You get to talk with patients every day, you get to counsel them. You're the most accessible healthcare provider, and by doing that, you really get to make a difference in patients' lives.
Reporting in Anderson, Missouri, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Warholock says there's also a need for more pharmacy technicians. She says they're vital in helping pharmacies with physical demands so the pharmacist can spend more time with the patient. Well, Lindsay is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later a look at the Division II football regional rankings as Pitt State enters the final week of the regular season. John Dales has that and more in sports.
We are the Four Stars.
Well, we've had a really nice couple of days, though clouds are starting to increase. We can go ahead and take a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Now, it's nighttime. You can't really tell that it's cloudy, but you can see the winds picking up as well, gusting up to 20-25 miles per hour. And that's going to continue into the overnight hours and actually pick back up behind the front that's going to be moving in overnight. Now, we still are dealing with mostly just these upper level clouds, but these clouds that are moving through into central Kansas and central Nebraska, those are what's going to bring our rain showers into our area, that front that's developing. Tonight, it's going to be, since we have that overcast, a little bit warmer than the last couple of nights. Low 50s for overnight low. Those cloudy skies and gusty winds do continue, and then we see rain chances kicking up at about 3 a.m. Now, we're going to look at these wind gusts. You can see how they're kind of strengthening a little bit right before the front, but then they drop back down as the rain showers are pushing in. Now, following the front, winds pick back up, continuing to gust Wednesday night and even into Thursday as well, gusting 30 to even 40 miles per hour. So it's still going to be pretty windy after the front passes. Now, rainy all morning. We kind of move over to light showers towards mid-morning around 10 a.m., 11 a.m. And then after that, we're mostly dealing with overcast and drizzle. So all day it's going to be pretty gross. Temperatures do start off a little bit warmer though, so that's helpful. It's not as cold and rainy, but temperatures really only reaching low 60s tomorrow because of that front that's passing. So we're going to walk through. We've got those overcast skies in the morning off to the west or the east and then off to the west. So showers starting to push in at 3 a.m. Moving into more of our southeastern Kansas counties in Kansas, Oklahoma, Parsons, Veneta, Coffeyville, Independence, Yates Center. Those showers will continue right along the Kansas and Missouri border all the way down to Miami, Oklahoma as well, about 8:30 in the morning. So this is right when everyone's making their way to work, to school. You're going to get some heavier rain showers right about 9 a.m. And then those are going to continue to move over to the Joplin Metro, Nevada as well, but quickly shifting off to the east by about 11:30 a.m. Following those showers, we're still dealing with a little bit of drizzle, especially right behind the showers at about 1:30 p.m. You can start to see the clouds breaking up, and we're going to have a little bit more sunshine through the second half of the day, though not a lot of rain accumulation, unfortunately, only about 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 inch in some areas. Nevada getting 1/2 inch, Yates Center close to 1/2 inch, same as Sedan, Newada, Veneta. But Joplin only getting 1/4 of an inch, Pittsburgh closer to 1/2. So we have some hope that we could see a little bit of rain accumulation, though. As of the last day, we're going to get rain in the forecast Sunday and Monday as well. Plus, as we head into midweek next week, we get more rain chances. Until then, after the rainy day on Wednesday, temperatures bounce around in the 60s before our next chance of rain.
All right. And I'm looking forward to a few nights that freeze.
I so am looking forward to
I know that's a weird thing to
freezing.
look forward to, but
no, I think it's signaling the winter season and the holidays coming up. I'm definitely looking forward to it too.
Yeah, great fall temperatures though.
Definitely.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, as Thanksgiving inches closer, the centerpiece of the holiday's iconic meal may cost you a pretty penny this year. Agricultural experts cite several factors, including bird flu, inflation, and lack of demand, which could result in fewer turkeys at higher prices. The cost of your Thanksgiving turkey after the break.
Your four-state hero,
Southeast Kansas.
Some changing market forces and a different seasonal holiday calendar bring back a price war era for two shipping competitors. Wall Street Journal reports says FedEx and UPS are ramping up a price war. Smaller sized businesses are getting discounts now during tighter competition, and other delivery services such as the U.S. Postal Service. Amazon's own delivery and Walmart's same-day delivery service means more pricing strategies for FedEx and UPS. Well, as the name of the holiday implies, Thanksgiving is all about giving thanks. But the cost of turkeys this year may be something customers aren't so thankful for. Fox News' Ted Linder investigates.
As the countdown to Thanksgiving ticks louder, many savvy shoppers have their mind on one thing: how much this year's turkey is going to cost them. Well, a new study from personal finance company Finance Buzz finds the average price of turkey has gone down 12% from last year. Costs can still vary from state to state and store to store.
One of the things that we're headed for this fall for Thanksgiving is less turkey production.
David Anderson, agricultural economics professor at Texas A&M University, says an overall lack of demand for turkey meat is resulting in fewer birds being raised.
Turkeys have been unprofitable to produce, and so we've cut production.
Stubborn inflation and recent bouts of bird flu aren't helping either.
That's really cut our supplies.
Anderson says these factors have been compounding over time to possibly impact supplies.
If we look at the whole birds, what we're actually looking for that roast turkey, we've got fewer in storage than we did last year. We might expect some higher prices, even though lately prices have been much lower than a year ago.
And because more Americans are also skipping out on turkey for other holiday meals like Christmas, it may lead to further reductions in turkey production in the future.
That's where we see some shifting to, say, prime rib or a standing rib roast.
Meanwhile, the Finance Buzz study finds states with the most expensive turkey prices include Hawaii, Alaska, and California, while Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Mississippi have the least expensive turkeys. Ted Lindner, Fox News.
Well, a Joplin utility makes a big donation to a local nonprofit today. Missouri American Water presented a check for $25,000 to the Creative Learning Alliance to fund an interactive exhibit. The check comes as part of the American Water Charitable Foundation Workforce Readiness/STEM grant. The Bubble Monster exhibit is a hands-on creative experience applying both water and the principles of physics.
We are purchasing a bubble monster, which is essentially a giant bubble cage. You're going to pull the bubbles up over yourself. You're going to blow bubbles out of the main bubble. You're going to be able to make arcs with the bubble. So it's going to teach a lot of things like surface tension and stretching and all kinds of different things.
The Workforce Readiness/STEM education grant is part of the American Water Charitable Foundation's Keep Communities Flowing grant program. It focuses on 3 pillars of giving: water, people, and communities. Do you see what I see? The Christmas season is here with the Festival of Wreaths in Neosho. We take you there after the break.
Scott with Windows for us.
One of my favorite parts of the Christmas season is the decorations. Tonight, Crowder College held its 22nd annual Festival of Wreaths. The event in the Elsie Plaster Community Center featured both an electronic silent auction and a live auction. Organizers say holiday wreaths and decor are a mainstay of Festival of Wreaths, but other auction merchandise included everything from gift baskets and apparel to trips, electronics, and household items.
Tonight we're just hoping to raise as much money for our student scholarships as we can. This is our 22nd annual Festival of Wreaths here, and it's just a great night for people to come out, support a good cause, and kick off the holiday season.
Last year's event raised more than $95,000 for scholarships and program support. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. The Manhattan judge in Donald Trump's hush money case delays his decision on whether the president-elect should be sentenced on 34 counts of falsifying business records. Plus, President-elect Trump's pick to lead the EPA is promising to roll back regulations that he says are holding back American businesses, including the auto industry.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. President-elect Donald Trump will have to wait a little longer to learn his fate in his New York hush money case. Fox's Rebecca Castor has more from Washington on the state judge's ruling on Trump's sentencing.
New York State Judge Juan Merchan is pressing pause on President-elect Donald Trump's criminal hush money case, deciding to postpone a decision on whether or not to undo Trump's conviction.
I think that his attorneys are eager to appeal not just any sentence, but the underlying trial. And so I don't feel that this is necessarily welcome news by the Trump team.
Trump was found guilty back in May of falsifying business records related to payments made in 2016 to former porn star Stormy Daniels to cover up an alleged affair the two had. Just a month after the conviction, the Supreme Court ruled ex-presidents can't be prosecuted for actions they took while in office, and prosecutors can't cite those actions in cases centered on purely personal conduct.
His personal interest is obviously his criminal liability. The public interest is whether having the proceedings interferes with his ability to carry out his constitutional duties as president.
After that Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity, Merchan said he would decide by today whether to keep the verdict, order a new trial, or dismiss the conviction altogether. But Trump's legal team requested a delay over the weekend, and Merchan now says he'll make a ruling on November 19th.
Saying that because Donald Trump is now president-elect, it raises all kinds of new constitutional questions. On one hand, the immunity issue from the Supreme Court, but also sentencing, given that he obviously wouldn't be able to execute that sentence because he will be at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Donald Trump's sentencing is scheduled for November 26th, but it's unclear at this point whether that date will hold or not. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, President-elect Trump is picking out more key members of his new cabinet and giving a glimpse at what his top priorities will be. A former rival turned ally, Senator Marco Rubio, is expected to be named President-elect Trump's new Secretary of State. Likely in part because as a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Rubio has taken a hard stance on countries like China. Another Republican once considered for VP, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, is expected to be picked as Homeland Security Secretary. And former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee has been appointed as ambassador to Israel. And Trump has already named 2 GOP representatives to key roles. Florida's Mike Waltz will be National Security Advisor, and New York's Elise Stefanik will be Ambassador to the UN. With the balance of power still up for grabs in the House, some are wondering how many more Republicans the administration will take. Unlike senators, House members are not replaced right away by their state's governor. Their seats remain vacant until a special election takes place. President-elect Trump is set to slam the brakes on electric vehicle mandates. Fox Business correspondent Kelly Sabiri has the latest from St. Charles, Illinois.
Detroit's Big Three have spent billions and lost billions on electrifying their fleet of vehicles that they offer to consumers. GM has a goal to electrify by 2035. That's its target goal year. Ford and Stellantis also have aggressive targets. It's unclear at this point whether their goals will change. Ohio Senator-elect Bernie Moreno is a former car dealer, and he says he'd like to get rid of the tax incentives that comes with buying an electric vehicle. He states that the government should not subsidize this purchase because the government thinks the vehicle is better than others. And he says we're about to see the golden age of automotives in the U.S.
We're going to create a tax environment that rewards companies, that brings back jobs to the U.S. And we're going to have a tax policy that gives you a different tax rate if you take our jobs and ship them overseas.
Moreno also wants to prohibit California from setting its own emission standards that are followed by several other states. He wants to create one unified emissions policy in the entire nation. In California, the largest auto market in the country, 1 in 4 vehicles sold is electric. Electric vehicles made up almost 9% of new cars in the country in the third quarter of 2024. Tesla has slashed prices to make their cars more attractive to consumers several times, and there's concern from the traditional U.S. automakers that China's cars could hit the U.S. auto market as they are significantly cheaper. For example, BYD's Seagull is just about $15,000 in China.
The reality is China's coming. It's not if, it is when. They're most likely going to come through Mexico. We have China manufacturers starting production in Mexico starting in 27. They're already selling north of 7-8% of all of sales in Mexico are Chinese branded vehicles today.
Senator Lex Moreno has called vehicles that come out of China garbage vehicles. Meanwhile, industry experts have touted the quality that's come out of the country. This as BYD's global sales had briefly pushed ahead of Tesla's global sales late last year. In St. Charles, Illinois, Kelly Saberi, Fox Business.
And Lindsay is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, still at large.
The search continuing for those missing monkeys in South Carolina. I'm Jeff Paul with the latest on the search coming up.
Well, we've enjoyed the last couple of days, temperatures in the upper 60s, low 70s. Unfortunately, that all comes to an end tonight. Taking a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. You can't see the overcast, but you can see those flags blowing in the wind. Winds gusting up to 22 miles per hour out there right now. We do have upper level clouds, so although we're overcast, we got to see a lot of the sunshine still through the day. Those lower level clouds are going to start to pushing in a little bit later after midnight tonight, with the showers pushing in a little bit later than that. Temperatures only dropping down to low 50s tonight. Since we do have the overcast, it kind of traps the heat in a little bit more, and then those gusty winds continue all the way until that front passes. So tonight we see those winds gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour. They do die down a little bit ahead of the rain showers and along the boundary. However, they pick right back up behind the frontal boundary, and we actually see winds gusting 30 to 40 miles per hour behind the boundary Wednesday night and into Thursday. If you're planning your morning, rain through the first couple of hours of the day. Mostly showers, lighter showers as we head into mid-morning and early afternoon. Temperatures starting off again in the lower 50s, really only getting down up to upper 50s by noon, and our highs low 60s. So we're much cooler tomorrow than we have been for the last couple of days. Looking at our future track, we've got those lower level clouds pushing in. Nearly all of us are in those lower level clouds. However, we already had the upper level clouds, so it doesn't really matter much. We've got those showers pushing in to our far western counties by 3 a.m. and then continuing to push into the area. Kansas and Oklahoma, nearly all of our counties are covered in rain by about 6, 7 a.m. So right when you're getting up, you're getting your day started, you're met with some rain chances. Heavier rain starts to make its way right along the Kansas and Missouri border by about 8:30, 9 a.m., pushing into the metro closer to 9 to 10 a.m. So then those showers will continue to push off to the east, but we do have a lot of mist and a little drizzle going on after those showers completely clear out. So this is about noon that our first line of storms and showers have pushed out, and then we have the drizzle, the overcast for a few more hours after that to the early afternoon. Now, we're not expecting a severe threat, though we do get maybe a little thunder, a little lightning, but no severe threats. And then eventually those clouds do clear out, and we've got a little bit of break in the clouds for Wednesday afternoon. Unfortunately, it's, sun setting a lot earlier, so we don't get to enjoy a lot of sunshine tomorrow. Now, rain amounts, not much, about 1/10 of an inch in some areas to 1/4 of an inch. Some isolated spots, Nevada, maybe even Lamar, Pittsburgh, up to about 1/2 inch of rain. Veneta, Miami, so out in Oklahoma, definitely. Joplin, only about 1/4 of an inch of rain. Not a lot, but this is not our last chance to see rain in the forecast. Sunday and Monday, we've got another low pressure system moving in. It's going to drop those temperatures from upper 60s, low 70s to low 60s Monday and Tuesday. Heavier rain on Monday, maybe some storms there. We're going to keep an eye on that system. Then we have another one right after that as we head into Wednesday.
All right. Well, we're looking at rain almost all day tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, heavier rain in the morning, and then we get that, gross, dreary drizzle for the early afternoon, clearing out probably right about the time you're trying to head home from work, around 5, 6 p.m. Then
when it's getting too dark to do
anything
anyway.
Yeah, it's too dark to notice anyway, so.
But Thursday and Friday look good, so
definitely, I'm excited for that.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, coming up in sports, I'll look at the Division II football regional rankings, plus Missouri Southern women's basketball plays its home opener. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
Missouri Southern women's basketball plays its first home game of the season tonight, and the Lions earned their first win of the year last time out. That was Saturday. Missouri Southern women's hoops plays its home opener tonight in Joplin against Missouri S&T. First game of the year for the Miners. First points of the night belong to the Lions, courtesy of a Caitlin Honeycutt three-pointer. Southern opens the game up on a 9-0 run, but the Miners hang around. Later in the first quarter, this backdoor cut and floater from Chorus Davis cuts the lead down to 4. Lions go into halftime up by 10. Third quarter now, leads trimmed to 7. Mackenzie Hart finds Mia Topping in the corner. That's good. Lead back up to double digits, and the Lions start to catch fire from beyond the arc. Early fourth quarter, Hart drains a triple. She finishes with a game-high 18 points. Southern continues to pull away. Hart then finds Honeycutt. She nails it. Next possession, just for good measure, another three ball, this time from Kennedy Roach. Coffeyville transfer. Lions get a win in their first home game of the season. Final score 76-65. Pittsburgh State football has just one game left to prove to the NCAA Division II Selection Committee that it's worthy of a playoff spot, and the Gorillas are in a good spot in this week's regional rankings. After not playing this past Saturday, they hold steady at the number 3 team in the region. In fact, no changes at all from last week in regards to the top 6 teams in Super Region 3, but where we do see some movement this week is down in spots 7 through 10. MIAA teams Fort Hays State and Central Missouri, both of them have an outside shot to sneak their way into the playoffs with 3 losses if things break their way. Of course, after the bye week, Pitt State's last time out is still that 24-point home loss to Central Missouri. Gorillas would love to get that taste out of their mouth. They end the regular season this Saturday up in Maryville. They pay a visit to 6-4 Northwest Missouri. A win likely clinches a playoff berth for the Gorillas, while a loss would more likely than not end those hopes altogether. And in the most recent edition of the AFCA Division II Coaches Poll, not a lot of changes here either. The Gorillas remain the number 13 team in the country after their second bye week of the season. Central Oklahoma is up at number 8, along with Pitt State. Those are the only 2 MIAA teams to be ranked this week. Now, Central Missouri and Fort Hays State, you heard me just mention them, along with Emporia State, they're all receiving votes, but not inside the top 25. And tonight, at the Division I FBS level, we get our second edition of the College Football Playoff Committee rankings. Not a ton of movement near the top. Oregon remains the number 1 team in the nation. Kansas State moves up to 16. Mizzou jumps 1 spot up to 23. Same story as last week. Both the Wildcats and the Tigers have slim chances of making the 12-team playoff at the end of the regular season, but they more likely than not would need to win out. Back here in the 4 states, going to be a busy day for our sports team tomorrow. Signing day at the high school level. So we got a bunch of high school athletes all across the 4 states that are getting ready to take that next step up to the college level.
What are some of the schools you're headed to?
Mount Vernon in the morning. We got Pittsburgh in the afternoon, Joplin, Webb City, a lot of them.
Oh, that's fun. I love that time of year.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right. Thanks, John. We're back with more news after this. Dozens of monkeys are back in custody 6 days after escaping a South Carolina research facility. But police say a sizable group still remains active along the compound's fence line, as authorities are now using thermal imaging cameras to locate the rest. Fox's Jeff Paul has the latest.
The monkeys, all females, are said to be the size of a cat, each weighing about 7 pounds. Over the weekend, authorities making progress in the search, capturing 25 primates plus several more Monday. Still, locals are being warned to keep an eye out but not get too close.
Do not approach them. Do not try to take one home as a pet. Call 911. Just advise them of where you are and where you see the monkey, and then we'll get someone out there.
When asked how the monkeys were able to make a break for it, the CEO of the research facility had this to say.
The caretaker was doing her normal routine. She failed to secure the doors, and the monkeys basically just bolted through the opening.
Since their escape, the monkeys have been spotted in several areas. One local land surveyor telling Fox News he was surprised to spot monkeys roaming in nearby woods.
And then I saw dozens of monkeys in a line coming out and coming down that tree and running along the ground.
Facility officials say none of its animals are infected with any diseases, and the studies they were conducting don't pose any danger to the monkeys or people. In Los Angeles, Jeff Paul, Fox News.
Well, in a statement last night, the facility's CEO says 30 of the 43 monkeys have now been recovered. Well, Tom Cruise is back in action as Ethan Hunt. We get a first look at Mission Impossible 8 coming up in Hollywood Nation. A first look at Mission Impossible 8. Jim Gaffigan brings the laughs to Hulu and more. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has the latest in the Hollywood Nation.
The mission falls to him. Should he choose to accept?
Ethan Hunt returns, Gaffigan gets a new special, and Gadot takes on a high-stakes role in the Hollywood Nation. Gal Gadot has lined up her next role. According to Deadline, the Wonder Woman star will lead Amazon MGM Studios' upcoming action thriller, The Runner. She'll play a high-powered attorney on a high-stakes chase through London, following the cryptic commands of a mysterious caller in order to save her abducted son.
Go.
Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis arrives to home entertainment. The sci-fi Roman epic is now available to rent. Adam Driver leads the star-studded drama about three characters fighting for power in the declining empire New Rome.
I don't know if you know, I'm normally a fat guy. But since I've lost all this weight, now I'm just arrogant.
Jim Gaffigan goes for laughs in today's First Looks. The comedian brings his humor to Hulu with Jim Gaffigan the Skinny, the first comedy special under the streamer's new division, Hoolarious. Gaffigan will discuss a variety of topics, including his weight loss and family. It premieres November 22nd. Tom Cruise is back in action as Ethan Hunt. The actor revealed on Instagram Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning as the title of the 8th film, and also shared the movie poster with the caption, "Every choice has led to this." In addition, Paramount released a teaser trailer which looks back at all the past films as well as giving a glimpse of what's to come. The final chapter arrives in theaters May 23rd, 2025. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with video of a grizzly bear relaxing in the snow at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo in Colorado. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.